What happens when the world around us falls silent, the lights dim, and our bodies rest in the stillness of night? As we close our eyes, surrendering to sleep, we enter a space beyond time, beyond the material world. But what exactly is happening to our consciousness in that moment? Is sleep merely a time for the body to recover, or does something deeper unfold? The veil between wakefulness and sleep is a mystery as old as human existence. For most, it is simply the natural progression of the day. The body grows tired, the mind winds down, and sleep takes over. But beneath this surface, a fascinating and transformative journey begins. As we begin to drift into slumber, we enter what is known as the hypnagogic state, a threshold between consciousness and the unconscious. It's the liminal space, a place where the mind is no longer fully awake, yet not entirely asleep. Here, the boundaries between reality and imagination blur, and strange images, sensations, and thoughts emerge. This space, where your mind floats in a state of heightened suggestibility, is the birthplace of dreams. But beyond dreams, something even more profound occurs. Our consciousness begins to break free from the constraints of our waking self. The body may be at rest, but the mind embarks on a journey far beyond ordinary comprehension. And it is in this moment of crossing over that the true mystery begins. Dreams are not simply random sequences of images and emotions. They are windows into realms unknown. Ancient cultures, from the Egyptians to the Greeks, believed dreams were messages from the gods, gateways to hidden realms of the unconscious, or even glimpses of past and future lives. But modern science has only scratched the surface of what dreams truly are. In the world of dreams, we are no longer bound by the physical limitations of our waking existence. The laws of time, space, and logic dissolve into the ether. We can fly, encounter beings from other worlds, and visit places that exist only in the depths of our psyche. The dream world is a place where the imagination runs wild, yet it can also be deeply symbolic, holding clues to the inner workings of our mind. Some scientists believe that dreams are simply the brain's way of processing information, a necessary side effect of sleep. But many spiritual traditions, especially those from the East, teach that dreams are a way of communicating with the divine, a medium through which our higher consciousness can speak to us. According to Tibetan Buddhism, dreams are a manifestation of the bardo, those liminal spaces that exist between states of consciousness. When we sleep, we are not simply resting, we are entering a state of transition, a temporary death of the conscious self. The Bardo Thodol, or Tibetan Book of the Dead, speaks of this state as one where the mind, free from the distractions of the body, can experience liberation or be drawn into confusion and illusion. In dreams, we face the unknown. We encounter both peaceful and wrathful visions, reflecting the deeper, often unresolved parts of ourselves. Yet, if we approach them with awareness, they offer profound opportunities for growth and transformation. Imagine this: you're deep in the heart of a dream, and suddenly, a spark of awareness ignites. You realize that you are dreaming. In that instant, the entire landscape of your mind shifts. The boundaries of the dream world become malleable, and you are no longer a passive observer. You are an active participant, fully aware of your power. This is the world of lucid dreaming, a state where the dreamer becomes conscious within the dream. It's a phenomenon that has fascinated mystics, psychologists, and explorers of consciousness for centuries. In lucid dreams, one can control the environment, interact with dream characters, and even shape the course of events. The line between reality and dream begins to fade, but lucid dreaming is not just about control. It is about awareness of the mind's creative power and the ability to consciously navigate the inner world. For many, this experience of heightened awareness within the dream is transformative, offering new insights into the subconscious and even serving as a path to spiritual awakening. In Tibetan Buddhism, there is a practice known as dream yoga, which encourages practitioners to become aware within their dreams and use this state to explore deeper truths about the nature of reality. Dream yoga teaches that if one can master the art of lucid dreaming, they can begin to transcend the limitations of the mind and awaken to a deeper understanding of existence. This practice holds that by mastering the dream world, we can unlock the true nature of consciousness itself. The dream world, like the waking world, is a reflection of the mind. Therefore, to understand the nature of reality, we must first understand the nature of our own consciousness, both in waking life and in dreams. There is a hidden layer to sleep that many are unaware of: astral projection. While we rest, our physical bodies lie motionless, but our consciousness may travel to other realms of existence. The phenomenon of out-of-body experiences, or astral projection, has been documented throughout history and across cultures. Those who experience OBEs often describe floating above their bodies, observing their surroundings from a higher perspective. Astral travel is not bound by the limitations of time and space. Travelers report visiting distant locations, meeting with spiritual beings, and even journeying to realms that seem to exist outside of our known universe. This suggests that consciousness is not confined to the body, and that the true nature of the self is far more expansive than we typically realize. For those who practice astral projection, the process begins with a deep state of relaxation, often entering the hypnagogic state before fully transitioning into the astral realm. In this state, the physical senses shut down, and the consciousness begins to detach from the body, floating freely into the unseen dimensions. But astral projection is not just an idle curiosity or fantasy. It is a profound opportunity for spiritual growth. In the astral realms, one can confront their fears, seek guidance from higher beings, and explore the infinite nature of the universe. Astral travel is seen as a way to transcend the limitations of the material world and experience a higher, purer form of consciousness. Much like the teachings of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, astral projection invites us to question the very nature of existence. Is the body truly the self, or are we much more than what we appear to be in the physical world? While we sleep, the conscious mind takes a back seat, but the subconscious mind never rests. It becomes more active during the night, tirelessly processing the events of the day, emotions, memories, impressions, and sensations that we may not even consciously remember. The subconscious is like a vast ocean, immeasurable in its depth, powerful in its currents, and full of hidden treasures beneath the surface. Its true nature is largely unseen, and its influence on our waking lives is often more profound than we realize. This hidden realm is the storehouse of our beliefs, fears, desires, and unresolved emotions. It is where we store our long-forgotten memories, our deepest fears, and the parts of ourselves we may prefer to avoid. Every experience we have leaves an imprint upon this vast reservoir, but it is during sleep, particularly in the stages of REM sleep, that the subconscious truly comes alive. In REM sleep, the brain becomes highly active, almost mirroring the wakeful state. But the body remains still, as if in a protective cocoon. This is the phase of sleep where the majority of our vivid dreams unfold, and where the mind is free to dive into the depths of its hidden recesses. The images and scenarios we encounter in these dreams may seem random or nonsensical on the surface, but they often reveal far more than meets the eye. Beneath the surface, the subconscious mind is at work, weaving together our daily experiences, sorting through emotions, and attempting to integrate unresolved experiences that, in waking life, we might have pushed aside. The function of these dreams is not merely to entertain us or fill the night with bizarre or fantastical imagery. They serve a much deeper purpose. The subconscious mind is not just processing information, but also helping us make sense of it, connecting the dots between our waking lives and the deeper layers of the psyche. It is during this time that the subconscious works to regulate our emotions, consolidate our memories, and solve the lingering problems of the day. Have you ever woken up with a sudden insight or understanding of something you were grappling with just before sleep? It is the subconscious mind working tirelessly behind the scenes to connect the pieces you may not have noticed before. Often, it's as though the mind takes a step back and allows the emotions and thoughts that once seemed chaotic to settle, bringing clarity when you wake. But it is not just about emotional regulation or problem solving. Many spiritual traditions believe that the subconscious mind is a bridge, a gateway between the conscious self and the deeper, more profound aspects of our soul. It is through the subconscious that we connect to the broader, unconscious layers of existence, the parts of ourselves that lie beyond the reach of everyday awareness. This is where we store unresolved traumas, unspoken desires, and the wisdom of past lives. It is a kind of repository for all that we have been, all that we are, and all that we could become. When we enter the world of dreams, we are stepping into a space that transcends the boundaries of our ordinary waking consciousness, tapping into the unconscious intelligence that resides within us. By paying closer attention to our dreams, we can begin to understand the subconscious in a more conscious way. Dreams are not mere random fragments of our thoughts, they are rich with symbolism and meaning. For centuries, cultures around the world have practiced dream interpretation, believing that the images we encounter in the night are messages from the subconscious, guiding us on our path towards self-awareness and spiritual growth. The symbols in our dreams are not arbitrary, they are reflections of our inner world, signposts pointing us toward deeper truths about ourselves. A recurring symbol in a dream, a certain image, or a theme that runs through several dreams, can offer valuable insight into our inner struggles or desires. Many psychologists, such as Carl Jung, argued that dreams are a means of communicating with the unconscious. Jung believed that the subconscious mind communicates with the conscious mind through symbols and archetypes. He referred to this process as the language of the unconscious. When we dream of a figure, be it a wise old man, a shadowy figure, or a frightening beast, these figures are not mere fantasies. They represent aspects of ourselves that we may not fully understand or are unable to face in waking life. Jung often spoke of the importance of integrating the shadow, the hidden and repressed parts of the psyche, and he saw dreams as a vital tool for this process. The symbols we encounter in our dreams often represent parts of our personality or unresolved conflicts that we are being urged to confront. The subconscious is also where we hold much of our emotional baggage, unresolved grief, fear, guilt, or anger. While we may not consciously recognize these emotions, they often find expression in our dreams. Nightmares, in particular, are one of the subconscious mind's ways of drawing attention to something we have buried deep within. These dreams can be intense, terrifying, or confusing, but they are not necessarily signs of mental illness or distress. On the contrary, nightmares can be a powerful tool for healing, as they compel us to confront our deepest fears. By understanding the messages behind these disturbing dreams, we can release the emotional blockages that may be holding us back. In this way, dreams become a mirror reflecting the subconscious, offering us the opportunity to engage with our inner world in a way that is impossible during waking hours. They invite us to explore the labyrinth of our mind, uncovering forgotten memories, confronting hidden fears, and finding wisdom in places we may never have thought to look. And in doing so, we gain not only self-awareness but also the potential for profound healing and growth. The process of uncovering the subconscious through dreams can also be seen as a spiritual journey. In many spiritual traditions, the subconscious mind is viewed as a path to greater wisdom, enlightenment, and self-realization. As we become more attuned to the messages from the subconscious, we move closer to understanding the deeper aspects of our true nature. Just as a river carves its way through the land over millennia, so too does the subconscious shape our lives, flowing with the currents of past experiences, unfulfilled desires, and untapped potential. In this sense, the subconscious is not just a passive observer, it is an active force, shaping our perception of reality and influencing our actions, often without us even realizing it. Yet, despite the profound power of the subconscious, many of us remain unaware of its influence. We may dismiss our dreams as meaningless or irrational, not realizing that they are a key to unlocking the deeper layers of our psyche. In modern society, we often prioritize rational thought and conscious decision-making, leaving little room for the subtle guidance of the subconscious. But if we choose to pay attention, if we allow ourselves to dive into the depths of our subconscious through dreams and introspection, we begin to unlock a vast storehouse of wisdom that can illuminate the path ahead. In the depths of sleep, we may encounter a profound and unsettling experience known as the dark night of the soul. This is not just a metaphorical expression, but a deeply transformative phenomenon, one that has been recognized and explored in mysticism and spiritual traditions for centuries. It refers to a period of inner turmoil and spiritual crisis, a time when the ego is gradually dismantled, and the individual is forced to confront their deepest fears, doubts, and existential questions. The dark night of the soul does not always occur during waking hours, but can manifest most intensely during the quiet and solitary moments of sleep, when our defenses are lowered and we are free to dive into the unconscious. This night of the soul is not an easy experience, and it may leave us feeling lost, disoriented, and unsure of ourselves, but it is ultimately a necessary part of spiritual awakening. At its core, the dark night of the soul is a process of stripping away the illusions that we have built around ourselves. During this time, the false sense of self that the ego has constructed begins to crumble, and we are faced with the raw, unvarnished truth of our consciousness. It is as though the layers of identity and attachment we have cultivated over a lifetime are peeled away, revealing the vulnerable, exposed core of our being. The experience is often unsettling because we are forced to confront the parts of ourselves we may have been avoiding or repressing. This includes our fears, insecurities, regrets, and unresolved emotional pain, all the fragments of our being that we have not yet reconciled. It is a time when the mind and heart are laid bare, and in this vulnerability, we find ourselves at a crossroads. In the dark night of the soul, the individual is not simply asked to look inward, they are compelled to face the unknown. We encounter the shadows of our psyche, not as distant or abstract concepts, but as tangible forces that threaten to overwhelm us. Our worst fears and anxieties may materialize in vivid dreams or nightmares during this time. These dreams are not to be feared, even though they may shake us to our core. Rather, they are invitations. They call us to confront the parts of ourselves that we have been unwilling to face, the aspects of our psyche that we have buried deep within. They serve as mirrors, reflecting the disowned parts of ourselves, our darkest thoughts, repressed desires, unresolved grief, and shame. The pain these dreams bring is not a punishment, but a purification, a necessary catharsis for healing and spiritual growth. While the dark night of the soul can be overwhelming and intensely uncomfortable, it is essential to understand that this experience is not an end, but a beginning. It is a process that leads us toward liberation. Just as fire burns away impurities from gold, so too does the dark night of the soul purify the spirit, cleansing it of false attachments and illusions. The challenges and trials we face during this time force us to strip away the layers of our identity that no longer serve us. We are invited to let go of the need for control, the false need for certainty, and the desire to define ourselves in ways that limit our true potential. Through the darkness, we are given the opportunity to transcend these fears and limitations. The fears that arise in the dark night of the soul are not there to destroy us, but to show us where we are still holding on to false beliefs. By facing them, we become more aligned with the truth of who we are, unencumbered by the heavy weight of ego and attachment. It is through this confrontation with our deepest shadows that we come to realize the light within us. In spiritual terms, this experience is often described as an awakening, a rebirth that allows us to see the world and ourselves in a new way. When we surrender to the process, when we allow ourselves to fully experience the darkness, we begin to see that the light we were searching for was always there, hidden beneath the surface. The dark night of the soul is not a punishment, it is an initiation. It is the necessary trial that allows us to be reborn, to emerge from the ashes of our former selves as something stronger, wiser, and more authentic. In dreams, the subconscious mind acts as a guide during this period of transformation, bringing forth not just our fears, but also the wisdom we need to transcend them. Dreams may reveal to us the root causes of our anxieties, show us the hidden fears that have shaped our lives, and offer us the tools for overcoming them. They are the stepping stones that lead us toward the other side of the dark night. If we are willing to face these dreams head-on, to sit with the discomfort they bring, we begin to realize that they are not so much about the terror they evoke, but about what they reveal. In confronting these nightmares, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our past wounds, and our capacity for growth. Emerging from the dark night of the soul is not a sudden event, but a gradual process of integration. It is the acknowledgement that our fears and shadows are part of our being, and by embracing them, we can find peace. The journey through the darkness is long and often arduous, but it is in this process that we begin to find clarity, meaning, and purpose. It is through the dark night of the soul that we are invited to shed the illusions we've carried with us and step into the fullness of our authentic selves. As we approach the dawn and the night gives way to the light of day, we awaken from our dreams. But are we truly awake? Or are we still lost in a dream of our own making? Throughout human history, mystics and philosophers have pondered the nature of consciousness, often asking whether what we perceive as reality is merely a dream. According to the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, a school of Hindu philosophy, the waking world is just as illusory as the dream world. What we perceive as reality is a projection of our consciousness, shaped by our beliefs, desires, and perceptions. In this sense, the dream world is not separate from the waking world. It is simply another dimension of the same consciousness. Just as we awaken from sleep, so too can we awaken from the dream of everyday life. This awakening, known as self-realization or enlightenment, is the realization that the self is not limited to the body or the mind. We are not merely the dreamer of our thoughts. We are the consciousness behind the dream. In this light, sleep and dreams become powerful metaphors for the spiritual journey. Just as we awaken from sleep each morning, so too can we awaken from the dream of the material world and realize our true nature. As the night gives way to day, we are reminded that consciousness is not bound by the limitations of time or space. Whether we are awake, dreaming, or in deep sleep, we are always connected to the vast, infinite consciousness that pervades the universe. Sleep is not simply a time for rest, it is an opportunity for transformation. In the depths of sleep, we journey to places unknown, where the boundaries of self dissolve and the mysteries of existence unfold. Our consciousness is constantly evolving, expanding, and exploring the vastness of the universe within and beyond. As we continue on this journey, may we remember that sleep is not an escape from reality, but an invitation to explore the deeper dimensions of consciousness. Through dreams, lucid dreaming, astral travel, and the subconscious mind, we have the power to transcend the limitations of the physical world and awaken to the infinite possibilities of existence. So the next time you close your eyes and drift into sleep, remember that you are not merely resting. You are embarking on an eternal journey through the realms of consciousness. And who knows, perhaps tonight you'll uncover the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of sleep. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. May your dreams be filled with wisdom, and may your consciousness awaken to the deepest truths of existence.